Hello, I'm Will, and what I want to do in this video is talk about, well, the virtual classroom experience. Now, not just only from the point of view from the organisation or that of the attendee, but both. What ideas can I help, shall we say, an organisation or even them attendees that are going on, shall we say, a virtual classroom, how we can make it, shall we say, a little bit more interesting? Let's take a look. So, I do a lot of virtual classroom. I do a lot when it comes to, shall we say, delivering our courses, or I do a lot of consultancy, or I basically just have, shall we say, conversations with clients over situations. So, making sure you get things right is important to me, especially in the virtual classroom, because again, as I've said in previous videos, we don't know how long this is going to actually continue for. So let's have a look at the two different points in the sense of one from the organisation and one from the clients. In the sense of the attendees, what should they be thinking about? So the organisation's point of view, right, simple. If you're going to arrange for a virtual classroom, make sure you speak to the trainer first. What I always encourage people to do, because I don't teach all subjects, that's a fact. I teach workplace violence, personal safety, lone working, things like that within that sphere. So there is other trainers out there in the virtual classroom world. But what I say to clients is this, firstly. Make sure that you actually go on and see the actual trainer in his environment or her environment to see, well, what are they actually doing? What are they going to be using? Are they going to be using, shall we say, flip charts? Are they going to be using, shall we say, whiteboards? Are they going to be using polls? What are they actually going to do? What's the lighting like? What does it look like? Are they engaging enough in the conversation to, shall we say, make sure that your attendees that you've organised actually can respond to the actual trainer? And then just have a look at the way they're going to deliver. Yes, it's easy to say that we can do that all the time in the sense, but let's think about it. When we have live training, we can pop in and see everything's all right, have a look around, have a chat, make sure the trainer's okay. But in the virtual world, when the motion's going, it can be very hard. And there's nothing worse than getting feedback from the attendees saying that they couldn't see the trainer, it was too dark, or they couldn't hear him, or they, let's just say, they got confused of what they're doing. Because teaching in virtual world can be a lot different than teaching physically in a classroom. So the attendees, what should they be thinking about? Right. Well, the first thing every attendee should make sure they can do is understand how to log into the system. Whether it's anything from WebEx to Zoom that we use all the way through to Teams, that they're actually confident how to log in. There's nothing worse than logging in late. Not only for the trainer, but for the other attendees who have probably been there on time. And it's also frustrating for you if you're logging in late. I know sometimes it's unavoidable, but you're logging in late. Perhaps the session's already commenced and you haven't got the basics, you don't know what the rules are. The trainer hasn't explained, or you haven't heard the trainer, I should say, explain what's going to happen. There's nothing more frustrating than that. Then also make sure, have a look where you're sat. Are you in a quiet place? Are you wearing earphones? Do you know, shall we say, how to get rid of distractions for yourself? To make sure that you can, shall we say, involve yourself out respectfully for the trainer as well, to make sure that you're paying attention. Little things like, do you know how the system works? Like how to mute and unmute. When the trainer is only speaking and he doesn't have you in, say, groups, do you know how to, shall we say, flick on to, say, speaker? So you just see the actual trainer, he or she delivering the course, that you can actually see exactly what they're actually doing on a board, a whiteboard, or whatever they're trying to explain in detail. Then also how you flick to gallery, in that sense of how you flick back, so that you can, know what I mean, you can see everybody else and you can communicate in groups. Also look at the system. Do you know how the chat works? A lot of people have said to me in the very early days of virtual classroom training, oh, I don't know, this is very confusing. But then when you explain it to them, they go, oh, it's not as hard as I think. And that's what the systems are designed to do. So attendees, I always say to them, look, spend a couple of minutes prior to the session and learn what you've got to do. Learn it. If you don't know it, go on YouTube. There's so many videos on YouTube that are explaining people how to use the various, shall we say, platforms. But what you're trying to aim for is this, that you can actually enjoy the experience of the training session. Don't get me wrong, there is people out there, organisations and individuals that just do training as a tick box. And they're the ones that I try to avoid, to tell you the truth, because If a training organisation like us, and I'm sure there's many others that put the effort in to try and make you engaged within the virtual classroom training, which we've had to do at the moment, well, they're not really worth having them as attendees, is it? So again, just to recap, if you're an organisation and you're going to organise training for VCT, simple. Make sure you get to see the trainer in their environment to see what they're going to teach from. Are they not just going to teach and look down at a screen or up at a screen? Make sure they're looking straight ahead. They've got proper lighting, proper sound, clear indication of what they're going to do, i.e. with there's group activities, the polls, or what challenges or case studies are they going to give them, so that you can get the feel that yes, your attendees, your staff are going to want to do this. Simple things like that. Then looking at the attendees, make sure you learn the system. It doesn't take long, I promise you. It's not hard, and it's beneficial for you at the end of the day, because if you know where the mute or mute is, if you know, for instance, how to see the speaker, to gallery. Speaker, remember, is just seeing the actual person who's talking, either the host or the gallery. You can see everybody. If you know how the chat facility works, little tiny things like this, it makes the experience worthwhile. Because training is a vital part of anything. It is. It doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're doing it, or where you're doing it. Training is a big part of it, and sometimes training can slide. And at the moment, virtual classroom, in my opinion, has basically changed the way we deliver learning. If you want to know any more about how we do our virtual classroom training, or you want to know the courses that we do for organisations, from lone working, personal safety, and all the way through to dealing with difficult people, don't hesitate to get in touch. Or better still, have a look at all our videos on YouTube, or follow us on LinkedIn, and see if we can help you reduce risks and improve personal safety. Stay safe whatever you're doing, and bye for now.